Martinez is going to start on Saturday. What is it that you like about him?
96-mile-an-hour fastball and a pretty good changeup is a good start, but he's got a lot of experience, has done it before, and we've kind of, improved on what he's already has, I think, and he just has a nice repertoire and is able to slow things down a little bit. Like I said, I can't beat experience, so he just has a nice variety of pitches to choose from, and mature guy. I think he can handle it.
How important would it be if he does a good job in that one?
Obviously, that's a huge. Any weekend starter is a big deal, but I think that Saturday game is always a swing game. You got a chance to either put a series away on Saturday or change the momentum. If you don't win Friday, you got to change the momentum and try to get Saturday's game. So it makes it a rubber match on Sunday. So it's a big swing game for sure.
How much do you take away from last year's series against Ohio State? Does anything carry over, really?
Not really. I mean, I think it's we'll look at some of the scouting report things that we've had from the returning guys that they have, but they lost a lot of guys. We've lost, a few guys as well. So we'll look at the things that are, from last year, but it's a whole new coaching staff there this year. They run a different brand of baseball than they did last year probably. So, you can't put a whole lot of stock into it other than just what, some of the pitchers' repertoire is and some of the returning players, offensive players, what their swing looks like, kind of go from there. But, knowing that they've probably been taught a whole new, variety of things. So we'll just prepare ourselves the best way we can and take what they give us.
You guys have a whole new middle infield with King and Walker. As a middle infielder yourself, what were kind of some of the things you liked about that pair?
They work well together. They communicate well. Jax Ryan's a guy that'll mix in there, along with those two guys and possibly Beckett Zvorak. Those type of guys have all played really well in the middle. And just right now, those are the two that have been swinging the bat well in inter squads and playing solid defense, and they'll get the nod on opening day.
A lot of guys at the last availability were just expressing their confidence and the connectedness of this group. Seeing what we've seen through the offseason and leading up to the fall to now opening day around the corner, what is your kind of personal take on this group and where it stacks up amongst those ones you've coached in terms of readiness?
I think the coaching staff has done a good job in preparing these guys for the anything that could be thrown at us. We've had to work extremely hard on trying to pay attention to the details of things, and I think the talent is certainly there across the board, but we have to make sure we handle the intricate details of the baseball game for us to let our talent shine through. So, but as far as a whole, I think this group is very confident. They're an older group. We'll just see what happens when the lights come on. I'm anxious to see when they do get punched in the mouth how they respond, to somebody new, and that'll be we'll adapt and adjust based on what happens there. But I think they're confident, and ready to go for sure. I know they're tired of playing against each other, so it'll be a nice test and something new to play a different uniform.
Coach, opening day obviously brings about a lot of emotions. As a player and a coach, do those emotions differ at all, or do you still get that same juice?
Well, I could tell it was game week this week. I didn't sleep a whole lot, just waking up with those old-fashioned butterflies that you get, the anxiousness, and it's different obviously as a coach from being a player, but now I'm worried, did I prepare these guys well enough? Did we go over every possible thing that could happen? Oh, this guy's swing still needs this or whatever. A lot of those things you're just coaching against ghosts, and it's just, man, you got to trust that we put in the work. These guys have worked extremely hard, and the thing about opening day too is there's so much emphasis on it. It's just one game, over the course of a season, and whether we play well or not, it doesn't. That doesn't dictate how the whole season's going to go. If you get a W on opening night, it doesn't mean, we're going to go undefeated. It means you're still going to have adversity, and if you don't win on opening night, then the season isn't lost. It's just one game. You got to bounce back. So I'm always happy when opening day is over with, to be honest. All the hype up to it is great, and it's special. It never gets old. But when the dust settles and you just kind of get into the rhythm of the baseball season is what I'm looking forward to.
Do you have any opening day traditions or rituals for yourself yourself or your family that you've kind of upheld or built up over the years?
My wife always gives me a rose, on opening day. She gave me the maroon and gold one, this morning, which was kind of cool. And, but from that standpoint, it's for first pitch. I always say a prayer, just that I'm grateful to be here. And it's, we're blessed to do this. And this is a baseball game. At the end of the day, yes, it's, if you want to look at it as a business or whatever, that's fine. But we're very fortunate to get to do this in a great country that we're allowed to play baseball on a daily basis. This is, we're in Tempe, Arizona. It's going to be beautiful weather and a beautiful ballpark and great fan support. We're pretty blessed to do what we do. So I always give thanks for that. And then it's like, okay, now the competitor comes out at me and we'll see what happens.
Valentine's Day at the ballpark for you and the wife, or any plans this week?
Well, she's been through the ringer a little bit and knows that the baseball season's here, and Valentine's Day happens to fall on Friday. Lucky for me, so it's Friday night. So we'll try to get dinner in tonight, and leave Valentine's Day itself for the rat race of everybody else that will be at the ballpark. So I'm happy about that.
Will Carlone slide to a starter role, and what do you think about the situation?
Cole will be. We'll see how the weekend goes. He's definitely capable of starting or coming out of the pen. I think that gives us a good option with the power left-handed arm. If we want to start him on Sunday or Monday this week, we can. He had a little bit of a setback. Nothing from throwing, but he did have a little tweak that we were being very cautious about. But we'll see how the season plays out. If we need him more on the front end or the back end, he's capable of doing both and giving us some length if we need it, or he's coming and blowing it out for an inning or two. He can do that as well. Either way, he's doing great, and he'll serve a big role no matter what.
Who else could close out games for you?
Will Koger, I think, would be in line for doing that. He's done a very good job this fall. Power arm back end. Lucas Kelly can do it. Jonah Giblin. I'm not opposed to Fitzy finishing out a game if the situation's right. We'll go from a Jake Neely's a power arm as a freshman that still has to learn some detail stuff, but as far as just the arm strength and repertoire is concerned, has really good electric stuff. So those roles will play themselves out, but kind of to start this thing out, probably be Koger. Will coming out of the pen late.
What do you think are going to be some of the real strengths of this team this year?
I think just the ability to have arms that can compete and throw strikes and get outs, I think, is the biggest thing, and we have a lot of them. Again, it's good problems to have. I think we have a number of guys that we're going to rely on in any situation, and flexibility of some of those guys to just go and get outs whenever we're asked. And again, I'm confident in the entire pitching staff, but with Benny and Jack on Friday and Saturday, those two guys give us solid starts. It really becomes a dogfight for innings with the rest of the guys throughout a weekend. That'll be a challenge, but it's again a good challenge to have, where we have a lot of guys that can get outs in different situations. But I think that's probably going to be the strength from a position player standpoint. Just experience. We got a lot of older guys across the board. I'm not looking ahead to next year by any means, but if I did look at next year, I lose pretty much the whole starting nine next year. But I'm going to enjoy this year and try to get the most out of these guys first and deal with that when it comes. But we have a lot of experience and age and guys that have been there and done that.
Knowing what you have through your first 3 years here as head coach, has any philosophies changed heading into year 4? Any messaging that changed?
No, I still think the number one thing that'll always be preached here is you're representing something bigger than yourself. You're representing Arizona State University and the program that's been built before us, and it'll be here long after us. So it's our job to go out and play like a Sun Devil, right? And play hard no matter what the score, no matter what the situation. You play with the passion and relentlessness that you're not going to give in, and I think that's just always the message. Don't try to control the results. That's impossible. I think as much as people want to control wins and numbers and stats and all that stuff, that's impossible, man. Just control the preparation and the mindset and go play like hell when you get out there and let the results happen.
Obviously, conference play is a ways down the road, but does it feel different the lead up to the season knowing that you're going to be in the Big 12?
Not really. I mean, we prepared very similar. It's just regardless of who we're playing, we're going to prepare the way that we know how and what's going to make us the best possible team. The only change is really when we see a different uniform is just kind of in the scatter report and how we're preparing for those guys. Certain teams will do different things and be play a different brand of baseball. It's our job as coaches after a few weeks of the season starts going by to try and dissect that and figure out how they might attack us and vice versa. So end of the day, we're primarily going to stick to our guns and do what we do best, and we'll put that up against anybody.
What do you see the catcher position looking like on Friday? I know Josiah had a great fall. Has his defense improved enough to give that spot?
Yeah, Josiah will start on Friday. He's put together. He's earned it. To an extent, I talked with all three of those catchers, with Manny, Garza, and Brody Briggs as well. Like, all three of them, in some way, shape, or form, have earned a starting job. But I can't play all three of them at once behind the plate. But those three guys know that every game they are going to be in the game or in the mix of being in the game at all times. So, whether Manny is a DH on opening night, we'll see. If we got a pinch run for Manny or we're, pinch run for Crom, and then Briggsy's in the game. So any given day, all three of those guys need to be ready to play. All three are very capable. I'm confident with any one of those three. Just right now, when you put 15 or 20 home runs together over the fall and spring, you kind of win the job if you're playing solid defense, which Crom has done. So, he's earned the right to be out there on Friday night, and we'll see how the rest of the weekend goes.
You mentioned Manny there, but the DH spot might be a little bit of a rotation this year. What do you like about the DH?
I think we got to use that as a flexibility position and rest guys when we need to, but keep their bat in the lineup. There's a lot of, the way I look at it, there's probably 12 guys that have maybe earned a starting position, but we can only write 9 in the lineup. So we have to rotate guys and continue to try to give them at-bats throughout the year. And if we have to use that DH spot to do it and rotate guys around, that's what we'll do. But I think the biggest thing is we do have depth. I just kind of, for example, I've used the middle infielders, right? We have Jax Ryan, who's a starter, right? And he'll get his time in there, but if Kyle Walker or Matt King are swinging the bat really well, maybe we take one of those guys out and keep their bat in the lineup in the DH spot, or Landon Hairston, or one of those guys, Jonathan Hernandez, who's swung the bat all fall and all spring. Getting those guys in there and keeping them sharp throughout the year, we'll use that spot to do it.
Coming up just short of the field of 64 the past couple of years, have you used kind of that sting to use as motivation going into this year?
Obviously it's not where we want to be, and to me, I can always go back to that, to where if you think one game doesn't matter, it matters. Just look at the last couple of years. We've fallen short by maybe a game or at most 2. So the details of the drill work that we do, it's just a reminder that if they're not locked in and doing it right, just, hey, reminder, this stuff matters, and it might win us a game or lose us a game if we don't execute it right. So using that as motivation, but for us as a coaching staff also, that we have to do a better job. We have to cover every detail and make sure that we hold them accountable for every detail that we do. And I'm confident we've done that so far. Now it's just a matter of doing it when the lights come on and we play against a different team. It's not going to be perfect, never is, but we'll adjust and adapt as the season goes and clean up what we need to clean up as we go.
How big does your middle infield look with the 2 transfers there?
I'm sorry?
How big does the middle infield look with the 2 transfers?
I'm confident with those guys across the board. They're just very solid. They aren't going to give you anything ESPN highlight reel type plays, but they're just going to be steady and solid. All I've asked of our infielders is they make the routine play and turn the double play. I don't ask anything more of them, never have, never will. If they make a highlight reel play, great, but I want you to make sure to make the routine one and turn the double play. And these guys do it very well. Matt King is, again, a veteran guy who's played a ton of games that doesn't panic. He's just, again, he's not gonna make highlight reel plays, but he's just going to be very steady and consistent, which is all I ask for. Kyle Walker, same on the other side, has been we've had some work to do defensively with him, but he's improved dramatically and is very solid over there. Turns the double play well. And again, Jax Ryan, Beckett Zavorik, those guys, Camden Bates can all fill in there and do a great job. So, don't be surprised if there's, certain guys that mix in and out of there frequently.